right, are you guys ready? We can start. You ready, Lucy? So let's start in Sukhasana. So come seated right in the center of your two blankets or one blanket or whatever you're using, and cross your legs at your mid-shins. You want to line the shin bones up with the top of the mat or with the top of the top edge of your blanket, whatever you're using. And then lean over one side to the other. Take the hand upper hamstring, lower buttock. Rotate out, also draw back. Do this on both sides. Good. And then you want to see that your sits bones move away from one another. And then bring your fingertips outside of your hips onto your blanket, your blocks, or your mat. Press and really lift your side rib cage. Bring the very tops of your shoulders down. Bring your abdominal wall back and your tailbone down. Okay, so Luciana, bring your right leg instead of here. Bring it down, maybe in front. There you go. Perfect. Can you make your feet wider? Like this the other way. Perfect. 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 And then as you lift your side body, keep your chin here parallel to your mat. In reality, guys, there's an extension up through the sides of the neck as well as the back of the neck. Relax the outer knees, relax your outer hips. Focus your gaze out in front of you. Bring your hands to your heart center. You want to maintain this lift of your spine. Relax your outer knees, your outer hips. Next exhalation, close your eyes. Center yourselves using your breath as Ujjayi breath. So it's an audible inhalation, audible exhalation. And as you inhale the breath, guys, fill the outer rib cage with your inhalation. See if you can move your inhale into your intercostal muscles, the muscles between each rib. Empty the lungs completely as you exhale the breath. I'll chant Om. Join in or you're welcome to just listen. Exhale your breath. Bow your head by bringing your chin to the groove of your neck. Bring your hands to the very tops of your legs. Center your head. And as you exhale the breath, open the eyes and release the hands. Very good, guys. Let's go ahead and move forward. So adjust the buttock flesh. You can bring your blocks out in front of you, and they can be whatever level that you need. So maybe low, medium, or high. Bring a grip. So try to grip over your blocks. Push your blocks out in front of you. Really use some weight in your hands. See if you can get weight in the knuckle or the joint of your index finger. And continue grounding your outer hips and your outer feet as you extend your arms out in front. You want to lengthen out the side rib cage. That's it. Bring the space between your shoulder blades in. And you can think of this also as bringing your breastbone up towards your chin. Use your hands. You can bring your fingers together and then push your hands into your blocks as if you're going to move your blocks into the floor. And then inhale, look out in front of you. And then exhale, grip over your blocks and release or pull your blocks back towards you. And then we'll uncross our legs and recross opposite. And then once more, adjust the buttock flesh. And as you come forward, guys, you want to extend up. So the outer knees and the outer hips reach down towards your mat. Even your outer feet go down. Your side rib moves up and opposite of your outer legs. Keep that in mind as you push down into your blocks, push them forward. You can also turn the inner eyes of your elbows up towards the ceiling. There's also a slight lift of your inner wrist bones. And again, the joints of the fingers are pushing down into the blocks. Bring the fingers together. Take the shoulder blades and begin to move them away from the spine. You can also think of rotating the inner eyes of the elbows up. This also moves the shoulder blades away from the spine or does an external rotation of your upper arms. Move your blocks a little bit deeper out in front of you guys. And then again, bring the fingers together. Pretend you're going to push your blocks into the floor. Inhale, look out towards the top of your mat. Move your navel away from your pubic bone. And exhale, release. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Trying to see if everyone has a wall, and y'all do. And then we'll rotate the buttock flesh. Let's start with taking our arms out with our palms facing one another. And then you want to bring your heel bones down, bring your kneecaps down, your upper leg bones down. Take your arms out. Inhale, raise your arms over your head. Take a slight bend of the elbows, press the heels down, and stretch the arms up a little bit deeper. And then exhale, release. Oh, that should be easier than it is. One more time. Again, make sure that the legs are active, so you'll adjust the buttock flesh, rotate the inner thighs down, arms go out, inhale, raise the arms up, pull the belly button back. See if you can lengthen your side rib cage out. In studio, guys, I would come around, take the wrist and draw the inner wrist up. So the thumb sides of your wrist go up and the outer wrist or the outer hand stretch down. See if you can draw the abdominal wall back, take the arms behind the ears, good, and then exhale to release. Perfect. Perfecto. Let's come forward. So use your strap if you need to, but we'll again come to the top edge of the blankets, bring the inner feet together. So that's the base of the big toe joint, the inner ankle bones, rotate the flesh down, take the arms out, stretch the arms up. If you need a strap, grab one, bring your legs down. Exhale, keep moving your navel towards your breastbone. Come forward, grab your feet. Inhale, look out towards your toes, and exhale, fold. Widen the elbows out. See if you can create some space here around the spine so the elbows can move out and up. And as you do this, guys, move your back rib cage apart. So spread your back rib cage. Spread your front rib cage. So the way that you get more spread here is to really work your legs. Bring your leg bones down. And then inhale, stretch up, and exhale, release. Perfect. So I'm going to do Pashi again, but I'm going to come off of one of my blankets. So I don't know if you only have one. I'm not quite sure. Use anything. Towel, blanket, pillowcase, whatever you can find. And then bring the inner heels together and the inner ankle bones. Bring this flat kind of blanket right to your upper legs. You're going to lift up, so you're going to move your hip points up and over your blanket and keep this, spread the abdominals, grab the feet or wrap the strap around. Again, lift up through your side ribs, shoulders down, really hug your feet with your strap or your hands. Spread your abdominals, spread your back rib cage, use your blanket as a hammock, come forward. Elbows can reach out to the sides here, again, to move the back rib cage apart. See if you can let the full abdominal wall rest against the blanket and then spread. Maybe even relax the abdominals. And then see if as you widen the elbows, take the elbows out, move the tops of your shoulders back, use your hands to your feet, bring your chin, groove of your neck, pull into your feet. See if you can touch the top of your head to the top of your feet. And then inhale, lift up, move up as far away from your blanket as you can. And then exhale, release. Very, very good, guys. I'm going to use the same blanket, but I'm going to come over into Adho Mukha Virasana. So I'll move my blocks to the side, move the blanket that I was seated on, right? And then I'll bring this blanket again right to the top of the upper legs. Big toes are together. And watch, you can pretend that you've tied a strap here because your outer hips here tuck in and draw back, okay? And then you'll come up and over the blanket. You don't want it too thick because then it'll kind of press into the abdominals. Come up and over, Spread the abdominals into the blanket. Walk the arms out. Walk the arms out. Keep your bottom moving towards your heels. You can bring your arms out as far as you can. Again, really stretch through your side rib cage. With your hands, kind of push down and push your outer hips back. So your outer hips should stretch back towards the top edge of your blanket, of your mat. Good, 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 good. Now, guys, see if you can, once you get your arms out here, see if you can rotate the inner eyes of your elbows up towards the ceiling. Kind of give a little lift into your inner wrist, thumb sides of your wrist. Great, 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 great. And then as you exhale here, you can let your elbows bend and rest. One more time, lift the forehead up, lift the elbows, lift the inner wrists. See if you can stretch the arms out a little bit deeper. Now, before you bring your forehead down, make sure that your heels are right over your sitting bones. Turn the inner eyes of your elbows up. Even if you have to kind of rotate your fingers out to the side edges of your mat some to see if you can get that inner eyes of the elbows up. Then bring the forehead down. Again, inner eyes of the elbows up. See if you can spread the back rib cage, front rib cage. Perfect. And then rest the elbows. Let the wrists come down and rest in Adho Mukha Virasana for just a moment. Go ahead and come up, guys, and you can move your blankets over to your side, and let's take a dog pose. So I'm going to move this blanket as well, but let's come hands and knees, and I'll face the camera. I think the camera's here. I never actually know where the camera is. But when you come onto your hands, guys, watch. This is the inner eyes of your elbows. You want to rotate the inner eyes of your elbows forward towards the top of your mat. So the back of your arms, upper arms are rotating in, kind of towards your midline here. And we'll try to maintain that as we bring our knees up and come into dog pose. So first, get the rotation. Let's do this. Let's take our hands and arms a little bit wider than we normally do. Rotate the inner eyes of the elbows, top edge of your mat. Bring your knees up. Watch the inner eyes of your elbows to see if you can keep them rotated top of your mat. Lift your knees. Bring your heels down. Center heel bones come down. You'll want to keep your ears in line with your upper arms. And guys, if you need to really move your leg bones back, start with your knees bent and really kind of press your weight back. Put weight in your hand. So in your index finger, that the joint, which mine doesn't actually press, check and see if yours does. Press down with the index finger joint. See if you can extend the index finger and push your weight into your upper legs. Few more seconds here, guys. Bend your knees for me a little bit. Stay here. That's stay there. Good. Push. Good. Now see if you can straighten your knees. And then you guys come on down. Come down and rest. Very good. It's really tough to keep the inner eyes of the elbows rotating out towards the top of the mat. I think it has something to do with the weight there, making that external rotation a little bit more difficult. But remember, it's so that the chest stays open. It's that. Let's go ahead and stand up and take another dog pose from standing. where this time, instead of attempting to get the heels down, the heels are already grounded, right? Because you're standing. Let's do this. So line the inner parts of your feet up, and you can stand towards the back edge of your yoga mat. And then just kind of shift forward and backwards to find all four corners of your feet. Really descend your lower leg, so your calf muscles descend. Stretch your side ribs up, and exhale, pretend you're on that blanket again. Come up and over your hip points, and then bring your arms, your fingers, your hands down. Walk the arms out. Keep your legs where they are, guys. Keep your heels descending, your calf muscles descending. Keep your outer hips drawn back, so you're not moving your hips forward. Lift your heels. You can do that one at a time and just take them slightly out to the sides. Get an internal rotation of your legs. What you can also do is use blocks underneath your hands so that you've got that weight pushing down into the heels of your feet. Good. Keep moving your hands down and your arms out. Now, again, your calf muscles right below the knee pits extend down. Good, good, good. So calf muscles lengthen, heels lengthen, and then see if those big toes will stretch out towards your hands. Good, 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 good. Now walk into dog pose. Use your belly button. Move your navel away from your pubic bone. Lift the interior pelvis. Walk the hands out and the arms. Move your weight here, guys, back into the outer feet. Draw down on your outer feet. You can even take your inner feet and move them out towards your outer body. And then tuck your calves in. Tuck your outer calf muscles in. One fingertip, one set of fingertips at a time. Walk the hands back. Hold your torso kind of lengthened down or resting down towards your mat. Even out your feet. Make sure your feet are even. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale, come up. Ah, nice. Perfecto. Let's get that a little bit deeper. Remember, in studio, we used to do the back of the chair just to address the lower legs, the calf muscles. So below the knee pits here extends down. And it's kind of hard to you really have to focus on what parts of the feet that you use. For me, my feet roll in, and so my arches almost collapse into the floor. So I focus a lot on using this outer part of my feet. That requires that inner thighs moving out. So let's grab our two blocks, guys. And we'll bring them side to side or side by side like this in the long way. And then I think, well, anyway, we'll come towards our blocks, bend the knees, lean over and put your fingertips on your blocks, and then step one set of your toes up at a time. So really, it's the base of your toe joints. So it's the toe joints that you're bringing to the block. And then with your hands, you draw them in towards your feet. Draw your hands, your blocks towards your feet with your fingertips. And instead of this, come forward. And then see, instead of this, guys, rounding at the abdominals, see if you can exhale and relax your side body. Relax your side ribs. It will stretch your legs out, but still relax your side ribs. Relax your side rib cage. Push your blocks towards you and then shift your hips forward. Good. Good. Draw down with the base of your big toe joint, even though it's on that block, draw down. Now, walk your hands out and your arms out, lengthen out your torso. So you're stretching your side ribs. And the arms and the hands will only go out as far as they can. Press your way back, rotate your inner thighs back, Spread the inner thighs. And then very slowly walk the hands back to the block. Stay with the feet as they are. Come standing. In order to do this, guys, you've got to lift the front of your pelvis up and descend the posterior pelvis. So do that at the same time. Come very tall. Great. And then exhale to release. Okay, just for fun, and I want to do this. I want to do a bunch of stuff for you, Luciana, but I'm not going to remember half of it. But so what I want to do now, one that we hadn't done in a while, everyone grab a wall, face the wall. We'll do hand to wall as well. But I'm going to face my wall with left leg behind, right leg in front. And then I want to take the toes, the base of the toes up the wall, and then slide all the way down. So the toes stay on the wall, the base of my toe joints press down into the mat, inner and outer heel. So I want the base of the big toe, and I want the base of the inner toe. I mean, of the big toe and the outer toe, the pinky toe. And then this outer right hip tucks in. I'll step my left leg back, and I'll get that left leg back pretty far. And then watch, keep watching, guys. I want to take the hand and draw the hip back. Notice that my right foot has an arch, and lift the arch up. And I can kind of push here with the hands. So all 5 of your toes stay against the wall. And the base of your big toe joint, see if I could stand on one ankle, one foot, here and here presses into your mat. Okay, it's a challenging one, especially if you have flat arches, yeah? So see if you can bring it all the way down. So Luciana, let me do this. I'm gonna move this up. Yeah, that way you can use that. You're welcome. So press the inner foot. It's the base of your big toe joint, but not only, it's the inner right heel as well. That's it. Take that left leg back. Take the left leg pretty far back. Press down with the base of your right big toe joint. Increase the arch. Create an arch. Lift the arch up. See if you can lift the inner right ankle bone up. Lift the right quadricep up. And then see if you can really draw that outer hip back. There you go. Perfecto. Great, great, great. Come towards the wall, guys. You can put the forehead on the wall. You can take the arms up the wall, push the wall with the hands, and drag your outer right hip back. Drag your outer right hip back. Maybe you can tuck both of your hips in towards your midline. Great. And then exhale, bend the elbows, walk the hands down the wall, release and switch. Perfect. Listen, the arches, and we know we did I don't know, 2 or 3 years kind of focused on the arch. Y'all know how I get in these little routines. We do things for years. So for years, it was my thing to make sure I check the arches of the feet so that they're not rolling in, but that they're always lifted. So there are muscles there, and that requires like muscular, it takes the muscles to lift the arch, okay? So when you press evenly into the 4 corners, attempt to lift the arches all the way up through the inner thighs. And that's what you're doing. Notice that when you put your left toes on the wall. Notice the arch of your foot. Maybe check the arch before you do. And then once you do, see that the arch is lifted. Draw down on the inner and the outer foot. What that really means is that you've got to tuck that left hip in. That's what it means. It means that left hip tucks in. And that outer right hip turns towards the wall. There you go. Press down with the inner foot, down with the outer foot. An instruction I used to use a while back, take the outer left hip bone and press it down into your outer left heel. Walk your arms up, drag that left hip back. You may even be able to do that with an L shape of your left hand. And then you concave the upper back. This is dog pose, top half of dog pose. So there is a concavement of the upper back and a stretching of your side ribs. Check what would happen if you turned the inner eyes of the elbows up. Would you move closer to the wall with your chest? Drag the outer hip back and see if you can open up the armpits. Shoulder blades spread. Good, good, good. Now, lift the left arch, lift the inner left ankle bone, lift your inner left knee, and lift your inner left thigh. And then drag your outer left hip back. Perfect. And then exhale to release. Well, that was fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one block and yeah, I'll show you guys. I don't know which direction. Yeah. So I'm going to take one block and then I'm going to put the right foot on the block. This is just like a little bit of a ABA adductor work, right? So that those muscles that pull the leg out and pull the leg back in. Those muscles that pull the leg out and pull the leg directly back in, okay? And so that's what we're gonna do. But we'll start by stepping up onto the block with the right foot, and then watch what I'm gonna do. Reminds me kind of what we were doing at the wall. So when I bend the right knee, I lean over and I pull that right hip back. And I want to stay leaned over. I want to use my hip to step up. So as I tuck my right hip in, I press outer right hip to the outer right heel, and then I come standing. Here, I'll let my toes come down, left toes, so that I could tuck the outer left hip in. And then I'll lift the left foot, and then I want to take this leg out and back in, out and back in. And we'll do that maybe 10 times. And then I'll dorsiflex the foot, see if I can press it into the block, see if I can come forward. Really drawing that standing hip back, come up, and then we'll step down. One block. Stand behind the block, and then step onto your block with your right foot. Put your hands on your hips, and then take your left leg back. The further back, I think, the better we get into that outer hip. And once you get your left leg back, bend your knee, your right knee, and lean over. Bring your torso right over your right thigh bone. Stay there for a moment. Now with your right hand, draw your right hip back. Pull it back. Now step up slowly. Keep the knee bent until you come completely up. Use the outer hip to the outer heel. The outer hip to the outer heel. Once you come standing, let your left base of your left toe joints come down to your mat, and that will tuck your outer hip in. Yeah, so bring them down all the way. Just let them come off. And you feel how that, keep this straight. You feel how that kind of presses the hip in. So guys, when the base of your toe joints, left side, come down, you'll feel, and I hate to use the word lock, but it's a good word in this instance, you'll feel that outer right hip lock. It'll move inward. Place your hands on your hips so that your hip points are square. Point your left toes and take your left leg out and back in. Do this 10 times. So out 5 and in 5. Good. And try to bring it straight back in. Avoid swinging. Avoid swinging. You're trying to use the hip. You're trying to use the hip and the buttock. Use the lower buttock and that outer hip. Engage your lower buttock. Tuck your hips in. Square them. And control this exit and this entrance back in. Control that. Don't swing. Let the hip points be nice and even. After you get to the 10th one, flex the left foot, push through the left heel, and fold as far as you can. Keep dragging your right hip behind you. Dragging your right. So Louisiana, can you put it right next to the block, the left foot? That's it. Now fold. Good, good. There you go. Pull the hip back. Fold as far as you can. Perfecto. And then you can come standing. and release. Step down and we'll switch sides. Now, some of you went into warrior 3. Is that, we can all do that. We'll do that the next, after we do our left side, okay? So stand, and then from here, and I've got an ankle injury and I don't know why. I woke up with it. But from here, when you bend the knee, that the weight, you feel the weight here, and it goes all the way down the side of your leg to your outer hip. These are the muscles, and this is the joint that we use, well, to walk, but to do things like climb stairs and things of that nature. So bend the left knee, step the right leg back, and bring the torso over, and then draw your hip back. Step up, and you keep that shift forward, step up, and you're trying to keep that left knee bent as long as you can. Come all the way up. Once you stand, drop your right toes down onto the mat, and you'll feel that outer left hip lock or tuck in, right? You feel more weight there. And then point your right toes, and don't lean, guys. You want to be very even on the foot that's against the block. I see some of us are kind of leaning to the outer foot. Check that you're all in all 4 corners of that foot. Left arch is lifted, left hip is tucked in. And then take the leg out, 5 out, 5 in. With control. Again, don't swing the hip, but keep your weight outer hip, outer foot. After you've gone 10 times with the leg moving in and then back out, dorsiflex your right foot, and then fold as far as you can. Good. Dorsiflex that right foot, pretend that you're pushing it into the floor. And then when you're done, come standing. Very good. So let's see how that's going to work, guys. I'll use my good ankle. So right foot up, and I saw some of you doing this, and some of you were near a wall. We don't have to be near a wall. We'll go as far as you can, and you'll start, and we've done this just on the mat. We've done this just on the mat. So I'll step that left leg back, and you may even come your left toes, bend your right knee, draw your hip back. And maybe you interlace your fingers behind your back or keep your hands to your hips. Shift over that right outer hip to the right outer heel. Keep the torso parallel. See if you can straighten the back leg. And then to come down, bend the knee, bend the front knee, step down, come up, and we'll switch. That was fun, I'll have to say. Wendy, look thrilled. Now, I did come to my left toes. I think that was helpful. Almost like a lunge, right? With the left leg behind on the left toes. Bend the right knee well. Bring the torso over. Shift your weight over your right hip. See if you can come into warrior 3. Nice. Draw the outer right hip back. That's great, Louisiana. Good. Take the leg up as far as you can. Nice, Jackie. Now to come down, bend the knee, the right knee, step down. Good, switch sides. Can we feel the work on the outer hip? They all said yes. Now, left side, and you be in a lunge, and then draw that hip back so you can even use your hand. And then as you come up, and this is my sore ankle, tight ankle. And remember, this is a balance pose. So you'll really want to focus and keep your gaze in one spot. And then come down nice and slow, bend the knee, step down, perfect. Very, very, very good, guys. Okay, forget that and find a wall and bring your right hand, right palm to the wall. And your left hand can go to your left hip so that that left hip stays square. So it still moves out towards the, in front of you. Spread your fingers. We hadn't done this in a while. Spread all 5 of your fingers, and then with your with your left hand, take it across to your right hand and press each knuckle or base of the finger into the wall. And then release. Spread the thumb. Maybe if you have to use the left hand, draw that thumb down or L shape. Turn the inner eye of the elbow up. Kind of rotate your left side a little bit behind you. Turn the fingers to face behind you. Keep your arm, your shoulder, and your wrist leveled or even. Good, good, good. The left shoulder at the top rotates down and almost back. And then see if you can open up your chest. Lift your chest towards your chin. Bring your right shoulder blade in. And then turn your fingers straight down towards the mat. And then see if you can lift. This is the front of the wrist. See if the front of the wrist will go up towards the ceiling, not the elbow. Sometimes we hyperextend the elbow, but see if you can lift through the wrist, front of the wrist. Good. And then heel of your hand, push it into the wall. Guys, attempt to lift your fingertips. They won't lift, but attempt. Good. And then bring your fingertips back to the wall, even though they didn't leave the wall for most of us. And then turn the hand back to where we started, fingers facing the ceiling. Left arm out, take it over the ear. So take your left hand to your right ear. Take your left ear right over the top of your left shoulder. See if you can keep pushing that wall. And then tuck your chin towards your left armpit. So bring it straight down. Your left hand can go now towards the back of your head. Yeah. And then bring the chin down. Good. Open up the back of the neck. Those are 2 specific muscles back there. And then let your head go back to where it was so you can release. Keep here. If at all possible, turn your hips centered. Push the wall. Bend the knees as much as you can. Really open up that side rib. Straighten the knees. Turn the feet back and release. Oh, man. Very good. Opposite side. So left hand, and remember, you start by moving that right hand over and just pushing your finger joints into the wall. And I don't know if anyone else noticed, but mine don't touch this knuckle, the base of the index finger here. Well, where's the camera? Here, I don't know. But it doesn't go into the wall. And that's like my tight shoulder. So I really think it has something to do with the shoulder. So once you get your left hand on the wall, spread your fingers and turn the inner eye of your elbow up. So I'm going to bring it down. See again, if you can turn the inner eye up, good. Shoulder blade in, and then maybe you can push the wall over with your hand, check the knuckles, see that they're there. And then turn the fingers to face behind you. Now the thumb should be straight up to the ceiling. Now the inner eye of the elbow is almost automatically up towards the ceiling without you attempting to rotate it, right? It just kind of went up when you turned your fingers back. This is an external rotation. This is the dog pose chest. Well, it's everything chest, but in dog pose too. And then turn the fingers down towards the floor, towards the mat, and then really push into the wall. Here's where we see if we can possibly lift the fingertips away. Usually not, but we see if maybe the fingertips will lift, and then bring them against the wall. Open the chest. See if you can pull the left shoulder blade down and into your body, And you'll open up the pectoralis minor muscle there, kind of in the inner shoulder. And then bring the fingers back so that they face the ceiling. Right arm out, it goes up and over to the left ear. Take the right ear to the right shoulder, right over the top of the right shoulder. Good, 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 good. And then take an exhalation. You can bring your hand closer to the back of your head, and then you'll bring your chin towards your left armpit. Left armpit. Come down. Pull the head down towards the armpit. Good. Good, good, good. And then release the head. Keep pushing the wall over and turn your hips center. You can go 1 foot at a time. Just turn as much as you can. And as you push the wall, bend your knees as much as you can. Sometimes they bend more than others, but keep taking the top of the shoulder back and down. Good, 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 good. And then as you exhale, come to standing, turn the feet back where we started. Perfecto. Perfect. And then you guys can exhale to release. I'm going to come seated. I'm going to come seated and do Baddha Konasana, and then we're going to move to Supta Warrior 2 or Supta Virendrasana 2. Okay, so I'm just going to take a small blanket to sit on the edge of, and I'm going to have my strap. Maybe we'll do Upavista as well. And so I'm at the very edge of the blankets. And then I'll separate the feet, have your strap available and ready. And then I'll let the toes rotate back, hold behind the knees. And then I'll bring the feet in, and I want to touch the soles of the feet. My hands are here. You can even draw your calf muscles down. So your calf muscles come down. Grab in front of your ankles, pull the front of your ankles back, bring your strap underneath your outer feet. First place we'll go is we'll drop on the strap, take the inner thighs out and the knees down. Lift up on the strap. So you want your knees out as far as you can get them. Good. And then pull the strap. So if you're going to pull your feet up, but at the same time, draw your feet down. Now, can you get your outer knees down? With your exhalation, draw up on your strap, take your inner knees out, come forward. Don't round. Move your spine in, your shoulders back. Keep your feet drawing down, and you can keep kind of drawing up on your strap. And then go ahead and come up. Perfect. And then I'm going to just undo my strap, extend my legs out. And I'm going to make a bigger strap or a loop strap here. Right? So we did the seated Upavista. So the seated Baddha Konasana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this blanket. This wasn't what I'm going to do, but now I'm going to. So I'm going to use this blanket. I'm going to sit in front of it. Again, Baddha Konasana. I'll bring the soles of the feet together. And then I'll shift over and really take the outer knees and outer thighs down. I'll bring the strap over my head and shoulders and down to the lower back, to the sacrum. And then I'll bring the strap underneath, just like we had it a moment ago, the feet, to the outer feet. And then I'll make the strap snug. And I want this strap right across the very tops of my legs. And we won't be here too long. Have your buckle where it's not going to kind of press into your skin. Also have your strap, the long end where you can adjust it like this. And then I'll scoop the sacrum and the tailbone. And you can use more than one blanket. You can even use one for your head. And then I'll come down. And I'm going to let that strap really move my upper leg bones down. I'll even wiggle my feet out. Pull my belly button down, take my arms out. Just for a moment here. So the strap is around the very low part of your back and then underneath your outer feet, near your outer ankle bones. Have your strap where you can adjust it, and make sure that your strap is down around the tops of your upper legs. So you feel that strap moving your leg bones down. And then what you can do here, guys, is you can take your arms out, palms up, and again, you can rotate your shoulder blades away from your spine. And then take your feet and just kind of wiggle them forward, using the straps again to pull the upper legs down and to lengthen out your lower back. Good, 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 good. The chest should be lifted. Shoulder blades in, but spread. If this gives you a lot of trouble, if you have a hip injury, you can use blankets or blocks right outside of the knees or underneath the outer hips. Everyone bring your belly button towards your blankets or towards your mat. Take your arms up and over your head, stretch them out, and then bend the elbows and hold the elbows. See if you can take the elbows over the head. See if you get length in that side rib. Side ribs get length. Elbows go up and over, stretch, that's it. Tuck the outer arms in, really grip your elbows with your hands and kind of tuck your outer arms, not just your outer arms, but your entire outer body goes in towards your midline. And then release your elbows and switch the way you hold the elbows. So they can release for a moment, stretch out, grab opposite elbows, pull up first, and then back. Lift the chest, nice. Nice, 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 guys. And then release the arms, the elbows. Bring your elbows down, grip the outer edges of your mat, and bring yourself seated. Once you come seated, take your straps off so you can loosen them and then bring them over the head and stretch your legs out for a moment. Very good. And you can put your strap to the side. But what I'm going to do now, and you can still use this blanket. And the way you would use this blanket, guys, is what? Just watch for a moment. If you still wanted to use a blanket, you would kind of bring the left sitting bone right onto your blanket and make sure that your left sitting bone stays closed onto your blanket. That's if you're going to use a blanket. So I'm going to get in really close to the wall. And I'll come recline. And again, I'm close to the wall. And I'll extend my left leg out, left toe straight up to the ceiling. This is where the blanket would go behind the left thigh or at the left sitting bone. The blanket would go behind the left thigh or at the left sitting bone, and you would use the back of your leg to ground the blanket. I'll take the right foot up and I'm going to turn the toes down. Do you see the arch and the toes lifted? And I want to rotate all the way down, trying to get that outer right knee and outer right leg close to the mat. This is not what I want to do. Okay, so the most important thing is that that left side stay grounded and stay in a deep external rotation. And then your right foot goes up the wall. Take the foot up. Because the bringing the foot up gives you a little leeway to get an external rotation. So the right heel is on the floor, right toes up. Right foot is on the wall, right toes turned to the right. And you want to try to bend that right knee at a 90-degree angle. Yeah, there you go. Now, what this will require for some of us, guys, is that you move in closer to the wall. And then I want you guys to find your hip points, both of them, left and right. And make sure that they're even. So for me, what I usually have to do is kind of lift that left buttock up and move the buttock flesh away from the spine, left side. Because more than likely your right hip point is going to be lower than your left, and you want to even them out. So that means you almost have to lift that right hip up some. So try to get them leveled. Now lift your toes, right side and right arch up, and see if you can rotate your toes all the way down towards the floor. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good, 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 good. You can take your arms out, spread your arms out, really bring your torso right over your hip points and bring your belly down. See what happens if you bring your abdominal wall down. You notice you get space in the lower back. And also, if you bring your abdominal wall down, you also notice your interior pelvis, front of your pelvis lifts up. Now turn your right toe straight out to the right and see if you can keep your left side grounded, but walk your outer right foot all the way down to the floor, or as close as you can. Keep that left side against the mat. Keep the left side against the mat. If the left side comes up, stop. If the left side comes up, you stop. Good. Again, if you can get the foot all the way down, I want you to push both of your feet into the wall, tuck your sacrum, tuck your tailbone. If you've got the space, take the arms out to the side and then pull them up and over your head. Pull your belly button down. Push the wall with your feet. Extend your inner right knee to the right. Good. And then release. And I didn't tell you how to release, but it is slowly and carefully. And to rest, sometimes we just put the feet, 2 feet on the wall, knees bent, and then once you've rested for a moment, change. We haven't done this in a long time, huh? Oh, well. It's the good old days. Okay, so when you start, remember that left foot is up some. It's not all the way down onto the mat yet. It's up as high as you need it to be. And then get in there as close to the wall as you can. Just start with bent knees. Extend the right leg out, right toes up. And then what I've got to do for myself in this one is check that my outer right foot is really pushing into the wall. Let's see. Let's turn these toes straight up, and then I'm going to put this underneath. That'll give you a little, that's great. Yes, that's perfect. That way the work will be, yeah. Yes, it's very powerful. It's strong, intense, I guess that would be the word. So remember, to start, that left foot is up the wall some, and then just keep your left heel there, lift your left arch and your left toes and rotate those left toes straight down towards the floor. That's it. And try to stay very leveled here. Leveled, meaning you're not letting one buttock come up, that they're both evenly onto the mat. If you're using a blanket, keep pushing that blanket down. Pushing that blanket down with the right buttock or the right back of the right leg. Good, good. You'll spread the hip points. Bring your belly button down. You'll notice the front of your pelvis go up. It's almost like your sitting bones also kind of go up. And then see that you're even with your 2 hip points. You can touch them. See if you can get that left leg at a 90-degree angle. and bring your torso right over your hips. Sometimes we lean the torso out of alignment. And then, since everybody's already there, walk your left foot down as close to the floor as you can go. Now, you may not get it on the floor. I don't. It just may not go, but you'll start to move it in that direction as close to the floor as you can get it. And then when you get the foot there, push the wall down, lengthen the buttock, make sure the buttock is even. Take your arms out and then sweep your arms over your head. Really draw your belly button towards your mat. Good. Push the wall. This will help open the hips to push the wall. Nice. Great, 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 great. And then exhale, release the arms, and then release the pose. Again, you can bend both knees and put both feet on the wall if you want. Very, very good. Very good. So since we're at the wall, go ahead and move in closer and just extend both of your legs up the wall for a moment. So you're here, backs of your legs up the wall, and you want to see if you can get your bottom to the wall. So you could bend the elbows and kind of scooch in, even lift your bottom up the wall and drag it down. Close the lower back into the wall. Bring your feet, your legs together, your thigh bones back, your outer hips back, kind of floint your feet. Take your arms up. Good. You could pull your palms down. And then release your arms. Let's bend our knees and soles of the feet together. See if you can grab the front of the ankles and pull your heels all the way down. See if your outer knees will touch the wall. See if your outer knees will touch the wall here. You can even kind of use your hands. And then stretch the legs up the wall. And I don't know if you guys have room. If you do, just let your legs come out to the sides. And if you don't, just bring the soles of the feet together again. So if you can let your legs come out to the sides like Upavista, keep your belly button drawing down. Maybe even let your toes turn down towards the floor. Push the heels into the wall though, so don't let your heels be light. Pull your belly button down, arms up again. And then release the arms. You can hold the outer legs or outer knees and bring the legs in. Bend the knees, pull the knees into the chest, and then roll over to the right. Perfect. And you can use your hands to bring yourselves up. Now that isn't our inversion, but we'll go back to our inversion. That's still kind of hip work. Grab a block, and we'll start with one block. We'll just tire ourselves out, and then we'll do back bends. So I'm going to take this one block right between the feet. I'll turn this way so you can see me. Between the inner ankles, and this is one that's tough, right? And this one really is designed to even out the sacrum, the pelvis. It's kind of for the sacroiliac joint if you've got SI joint troubles. Okay, it's also good strengthening. It's back to that outer hip, outer heel. Remember, outer hip bone down to the outer heel. So first thing I'm going to do is up, and it's not set to, it's just letting my bottom hover, and you can even push your hands down if you want. And then I'm going to press the hip, foot, and lift the left leg. and then I'll bring the left leg down. And when I do this, really find your hip points to see that they're even. And when you lift the opposite leg, you don't want to let the hip point drop. So I want to keep this hip point lifted, keep this one lifted. Oh my goodness. And then lift the leg. So in other words, if I were not paying attention, I'd do this. You see how the hip points are uneven. All right, we're trying to lift too high and the hip points are uneven. So keep the hip points even and lift one leg at a time. And when you bring that foot down, you want to bring it in the exact spot that you lifted it from. Okay. So go ahead and squeeze the block with your inner ankle bones. And then pull your block in close to your bottom. And then lift your bottom and let your bottom hover over your mat. And then press your outer right hip to your outer right heel and lift your left foot. Hold your left foot up with your left knee bent. Hold, touch your hip points, see that they're even. So you don't want one lower than the other. Lift the one that's lower and then bring the foot down right where you lifted it from. Go opposite, press the outer hip to the outer heel, lift the leg, hold the leg up. So that's the right leg now. Lift the bottom. Good. Use the hands, use the arms, level your hips, bring it down. Do this 3 more times on each side at your own pace. Find your hip points to check that they're even and that you're actually using the muscles needed to lift the leg. Good. And then again, it's your own count. And what we want to try to avoid is letting that foot hit the block or cross over your midline. And that's just a sign of the hips being uneven. So we don't want to let the foot cross over the midline and come down on top of the block. We want to lift it or bring it down from where we lifted it. Rest for a moment. Once you've rested for a moment, we'll do it again. We'll do it 3 times on each side. Except this time, I'll go up with the arms. Oh. And then I'll push outer right hip. And I want to stabilize it, guys. I want to stabilize the hip. And it takes a little bit of thought and a lot of work. And then lift the leg. Hold it here. And then bring it down and then switch sides. So the arms are over the head. The bottom is just kind of hovering over the mat. And then you're going to lift each leg 3 times and make sure to hold it there for a moment as you lift it and check your hip points. Make sure they're not even. They're not uneven, I should say. So focus outer hip, outer foot. Press that foot that remains on the yoga mat. That foot is controlling or helping you control that hip. So really push all 4 corners of the foot. Good. 3 times on each side. Perfect. And then when you guys are done, let's see, when we're done, we'll just bring our block underneath. So I just picked the block up, grabbed it, and then I'll do Setu Bandha. So I'm going to lift the hips and bring the block right underneath my sacrum. And then I want to use the arms and tops of the shoulders and then press down with my feet. Keep your legs internally rotated. Even with your knees bent, you can attempt to pull your inner knees in towards each other. But there is this moving of the shoulder blades in and a moving of the breastbone up and a real big drop or heaviness the tops of your shoulders and backs of your upper arms. If you want, if you can straighten your knees. I know for me, it gets a little bit intense, so I usually keep my knees bent. You can also straighten your knees and put your feet against the wall, soles of your feet where the backs of your legs are parallel. Very good, guys. A few more seconds. If you had your knees straight, go ahead and bend your knees, put your feet on your mat. You can grab your outer mat, rotate your upper arms towards your mat or onto your mat, and let's lift our knees, our feet up. Sometimes you can interlace as well, can interlace around that block. Knees are bent, keep your sacrum attached, and just stretch your legs up. And don't pull your legs to your chest, but they move back so that your ankle bones are over your hips. Good. Go ahead and let's keep our left leg extended up. Go ahead and reach into the base of your left toe and see if you can bring your right toe. See if you can bring your left leg down, left knee straight, all four corners of your left foot on the yoga mat. Pull your right leg back so it's not at your chest, over your hip. Good, good. Over your hip. Do a dorsiflex, not a dorsiflex, a point of your right leg. Now, go ahead and lift your left leg up. See if you can keep your right leg where it is. Good. Bring your right leg down. Keep that left leg where it is. Stretch all the way down so you're really pressing all four corners of your right foot into the mat. It's going to take a lot of kind of lifting the chest. Good. Keep that left leg lifted, right leg open. Bring your right leg up. Guys, bend your knees, cross your ankles, bend your knees, cross your ankles. And then exhale, keep your shoulders grounded, let your outer feet come down. Use your hands, use your upper arms, use your chest. The closer the heels are to the blanket or to the block, the more intense. The further away the heels are, the less intense. Go ahead and bring the knees up, and you can do that one at a time. Cross the ankles again, let the knees move out. You'll cross opposite, and then exhale, let your outer feet come down. Like your knees do really move out. They relax out to your sides. And then bring your feet and knees up, and you can do that one at a time. Good. And then separate the knees and the feet. Let the feet touch your mat, same time. The knees stay bent. And then lift your bottom and remove your block. And when you remove your block, grab it in your hands, kind of pull it over your head as you draw your bottom down. Very good. Keep kind of pushing that block over your head. And one knee at a time, extend or straighten the legs. Squeeze the block between the heel of your hands. Press out through the base of your big toe joint and bring your belly button down. And then very good, guys. Go ahead and release. Bring your knees into your chest, and any movements here, side to side or front to back. And then we'll roll over to the right and come seated and prepare for your inversion. So you can do headstands or handstands, or you could go back to legs up the wall with the blanket underneath your bottom or not. If you're going to do headstand, maybe have one blanket. You can begin to move it away from the wall. Do you see? So if you're practicing kind of coming up and losing the wall, just move your blanket further back. You can do wall L or Pinche Mayurasana or any inversion that you're working on. So again, legs up the wall or Shirsasana. Now, if you're going to do Shirsasana a few months back, we kind of changed it. Well, yeah. And I think most of you know this. So we interlace with the fingers facing you, like the people in the steeple, or I'm not sure how that goes, but the fingers face you. And then when you bring your hands down, let me turn this way, son, in case you want to do this. When you bring your hands palms up, you interlace your fingers and bring your outer wrist down. And then you put the very top of your head on your prop, on your blanket, and then you cup the back of your head. And then knees go up. Make sure that outer wrists are grounded and you're pushing to lift your shoulders. And then you'll walk in, take one leg up. You can again face the wall if you feel more comfortable there. Good, and we'll be here for a few moments. Let's see, Louise, and I'm gonna do this. And then what you'll do is you'll just grab the ends. Let me make this one longer. And then you'll bend your knees, push your feet, and pull your bottom in real. Oh, you're already there. Yeah. Take your bottom up, then lift up. Yeah, pull in closer, and then drag down. There you go. And then you can release those. Just put this here, and if it gets to bother you, I'll take it away. Legs up the wall. You guys stay there for a few more moments. Shirsasana, they're headstanders. If you're done, you can come down and do either Uttanasana, standing and folding over on your 2 feet, or you could do child's pose also to release the neck. If you're in legs up the wall, stay there a little bit longer. See if you can begin to let the weight from your heels draw down towards your outer hips. That's more that outer hip talk and that outer leg. So this is still related, same area that we've been working on. So just imagine your weight, heels, the weight from your heels really moving down into your mat, into your lower back. Remember, in studio, we would use sandbags on the feet to get that sensation of those outer hips dropping and relaxing onto the floor. Okay. So yeah, we can come down, guys. Those of you legs up the wall, you can bend slowly and just kind of let the knees bend. And then taking your time, you can push away from the wall and then roll over to the right. And y'all know we'll do Supta Padangusthasana. I'm going to use a blanket for the back of my head, just the back of my head on the mat like this. And then I think we'll do Supta Pada, but we'll do 2 different versions. So when I come down, I want to bring this blanket so the smooth edge is right at the top of the shoulders. And then I'm going to push both of my feet into the wall and then adjust your blanket if you need to. Now bring the block to the outer right hip. And since we've been doing Baddha Konasana all class, I'll bring the feet together, soles of the feet, and then I'll grab the feet and I'm going to let this outer or inner right knee go back. Very top of my right leg on the block. Take the right knee out and extend the left leg. And we'll just hold here for a moment. We're not going any further than this. We'll hold the foot, try to open up the chest. Remember to start in, you want to start in Baddha Konasana. So you want to start in Baddha Konasana, inner knees going back. Release, grab the outer right foot, open the outer right foot, or open the right knee and extend the left leg. Grab your outer foot, and if you can't reach your outer foot, you can grab your big toe, or you can wrap a strap around your right foot, but the very top of your right leg bone is on your block. The very top of your right leg bone is on your block. And your right knee is bent out at a 90-degree angle. Your right knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. You can even bend your right elbow. And then exhale, release. Bring it back to Baddha Konasana. Move your block over to your left. Take your inner knees back. Very top of your left leg is on your block. Open up your left knee some. Extend your right. Stay here. Stay with the bent knee, drawing the outer foot down, trying to level out your hip points. So your hip points, that left one should come down. Right arm can go out to the side. You can just relax the right side. Maybe push the wall with your right foot. Bend your left elbow and really draw down. Again, you really want the left femur bone against your block. Your left femur bone against your block. And then nice and even on your two hip points. Nice and even on your two hip points. A few more seconds. And then exhale, release. And again, you can come back to Baddha Konasana, remove your block, bring your feet down. I'm going to bring my block back to the outer hip, right hip. Grab your strap if you need it. If you don't, you can grab your outer right foot or your right big toe. But again, the leg is not here, but rather here. And really move that thigh bone back. Everyone take your left hand to your right femur bone and press it away from you. Grab the strap really close to your foot. Let's turn our right toes to the right. Take your right leg out. Again, go up and over your block. Go up and over your block. Let's kind of wiggle our left foot and left leg to the left some. Bring your right leg up. Take your left hand to your strap. Take your right leg to the left. Keep your left toe straight up to the ceiling, guys. Don't fall over onto your left leg, your left foot. Push the wall with your left inner heel and your left outer heel. One more time. Push the wall with your left outer heel and your left inner heel. And then see if you can drag your outer right hip away from you, moving it towards your inner left foot. Try to straighten that right knee and see if you can bring your right thigh bone to the back of your right leg. Now, can you move your belly button opposite So you can twist your navel to the right. That's it. Just opposite of the foot. It is an internal rotation. And then the outer hip stretches away. Good. Just trying to get space right there. Good. And then bring your right leg back and pull it in. Keep your head and shoulders grounded. Right leg bone goes away as you bring the right leg in. Good. And then exhale, release. Perfect. You can just stretch your right leg down for a moment, rest. And then move your block over and switch. So your block is right to your outer left hip, and then take your your left leg up. Yeah. And then you don't want to, again, remember, no, not going here, but you want to move that leg so it's even. Why? Why would you want to do that? I want you guys to do a dorsiflex of your left foot and see if you can drag that outer left heel down, straight down into your mat. Outer left heel, outer left ankle bone, outer left hip. And then floint. So press up through the base of the big toe joint. Grab the strap up high, close to the foot, and take your left leg out to the left. Again, go up and over your block. Now your right foot can kind of move a little bit to the right, and then press down to ground your outer hip. You're spreading your hip points here. Your hip points are spreading. Good, 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 good. And then bring your leg up. Slowly take the strap with your right hand. This is the tough part. Let's take our right foot and push the wall down as you take your left leg over to the right. You'll notice that that right foot will become light. It'll kind of leave the wall. So push in with the right foot. Draw your outer left hip away from you. You can even turn your abdominals opposite of your left foot. Go as far as you can. Draw that outer hip down. Pretend that outer left hip bone will touch the inner right foot. Good, good, good. And then let's bring it back to the center and then pull the leg in. Keep your head and your shoulders grounded. Good. And then exhale, slowly release. One more before Shavasana. And so what I'm going to do is just, and you can use a strap, but I'm going to bend that right leg at a 90-degree angle. Try to bring the outer right foot into the inner left elbow. And then I'll just rock the baby. Don't bring your knee here. So their work is in drawing that hip away. Guys, don't hug your knee in. Have a good distance from your inner knee to your chest. So we don't want to lift the hip. We want to open the hip. So really what I want us all to do is take that outer right foot and press it into your right, outer right foot, and press it into your arm, your left arm. Mm-hmm. And as you draw the foot, yep. Good. As you press the foot into the hand, you'll notice the outer hip slightly open up. Yeah, there you go. And remember, you can rock the baby. You can pull the foot over and then back. And I call it rocking the baby. And then release and switch sides. So you kind of take that outer foot to the inner elbow. Some of us have the ability to wrap both arms around that outer knee and outer foot. But what we don't want to do is close off that hip point. So your hip flexor, you're looking to keep that hip flexor open. You're probably like, no. Just let it come onto me. Yep, you can let it rest there for a minute. Now I want you to push your foot into me. You see? Good. And then again, you can rock the baby, kind of pulling the foot over and then back. And then over. I think that feels pretty good. And then back. And then release and take Shavasana. So once you release this, go for Shavasana any way you want. You can stay reclined on your mat as you are. You can keep that blanket behind your head. You can scoot in to go legs up the wall, or you can roll up blankets to bring under the backs of your knees. You can lie on a blanket or put a blanket over your body or across the very tops of your legs. But when you get here, guys, relax. If you can let the muscles in your face relax. You can do this with an exhalation. The teeth at the back of the mouth should part some. You'll allow the upper and the lower jawbone to relax, and then relax the throat. Let the arms and the hands relax. The legs and your feet relax. And you can see if you can move your five senses here inward, just kind of tucking them in slightly. Listen, I'm just going to tie your feet up. You just stay as you are, okay? Just let them relax. Begin to deepen your breath, move your awareness back into the room. Small movements when you're ready in your fingers and in your toes. And bend your elbows and bring your hands to your belly or to your heart. When you're ready, stretch your arms over your head for a full body stretch. Moving the abdominal wall towards the mat. Release the arms to the side body with an exhalation. You can bend the knees one at a time and just place your feet on your mat. You can lift your bottom and tuck your sacrum and tailbone. Reground your bottom and then pull your knees into your chest. You can wrap your arms around in any movements, side to side or front to back. And then when you're ready, roll onto your right and hold there in a fetal position. And then go ahead and you can bring yourselves up seated. Any seated position here. Hands can come heart center, third eye, or just resting at the top of your legs. Take a moment in silence. The transformation that gratitude can bring about. A thankful heart enables us to look at the brighter side of life and to get the right perspective. Thank you guys very, very much for being here. Namaste.